Hola Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel, and this is Al, my spirit guide. Welcome to episode 2 of season 8. And it's the new moon in Gemini. I better get it right this time. I've been offline for a few days. I don't know about you guys, but it's been turbulent on my end. And I was reflecting on it. I was reflecting on all the towers and the devils we pulled in the last month, and the fools. So, beginning this new journey, I had to let go and face and purge so much fear. It took me completely off guard. And it's so personal. It's so personal. Only you know in your own mind what you're scared of and what is holding you back. So, up to a few minutes before hitting record, I had to release a pattern of mine, a fear. And it's interesting because I actually feel lighter. Whether it's placebo or not, I don't know, but I know what I feel. I actually feel lighter. I'm actually able to record this video because the past few days I've been mainly in bed resting with sore body, just depletion, waking up at night feeling pain in my heart as if I was heartbroken and sad. I mean, I feel like I've gone through a full moon, not a new moon. That's why I'm just resetting. But only you know the fears that you need to release or that you're invited to release. At the end of the day, it's our fears that hold us back. I know they're valid fears, the fears that want to keep us safe, but often we get trapped in an exaggerated fear, a fear that simply wants to keep us in the familiar, a fear that registers the unknown as a threat. However, in the unknown is where a new timeline lies, where new opportunities lie, where a new you lies. Fear is such that it entrenches in our brain and keeps on repeating the same story. In my case, I was so familiar with the fear. It sounded so pragmatic, so responsible, and that is precisely one thing I had to let go of. A conditioning that was telling me you're being reckless and you're irresponsible if you let go of this pattern. I asked myself, well, where does this even come from? This voice that's telling me that I'm being irresponsible. I really had to wrestle with that. That's why the letting go part hasn't been easy. It's been painful because it literally feels like letting go. It feels a little bit like a death, and not obviously a physical death, but if I let go of this pattern, of this conditioning, then what? Who am I beyond that? Who am I on the other side? The answer is a big question mark. And the mind is quick to project its fear story into the question mark. I sat with it though, and I asked myself, well, what if that question mark implies possibility rather than a threat to my survival. Because that's what it feels like, doesn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, the past few days have been weird, just weird. That's why I couldn't even record a video. And I was thinking whether I should record one now, but literally, I made one last decision just before recording and I instantly felt lighter. That's a sign. I'll take it as a sign. If I can't trust the signals of my own body, then what can I trust? This is my truth barometer. A sigh of relief, a sense of lightness points to liberation. Pain and contraction points towards fear. And I go with that. Again, the question mark in my case is still there. And I choose to fill it with a sense of possibility rather than an ominous, foreboding sense of doom. Let me know if you've gone through or going through a similar process, because we're all going through transitions and changes. What we say yes to matters, whatever that is. We all face different dilemmas. Nobody is spared. As I release that fear, though, I am projected back into the present moment, which feels liberating, rather than being catapulted into a story of the future. It hasn't been easy the past few days, definitely not. And I wonder where that pain came from. It was an opportunity, though, for me to really be there for myself. So instead of instantly reacting to the pain by running to someone or just running away from it, I sat with it. And I just said, I'm here. Let me know if you've been going through a rough time too these past few days. I'm interested what lies in the energy. I mean, I've been pulling cards for myself, and the cards are always interesting because they don't, at the end of the day, it is us being reflected back in the cards. And the last card I pulled for myself was Deeper Knowing. If you remember last episode, we pulled Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I had to do that. I had to go back inside, just be still and calm myself, be quiet and listen. Then as I released this last fear, I also told the universe, said, okay, I'm surrendering because my mind wants to control and grasp and fill the uncertainty or the unknown with its stories. So I need some assistance. I told my Aska team, I said, guys, I need some assistance here. As I surrender, I will make the space and time to sit and be quiet and receive messages. But I also am asking for guidance. But pretty much the cards of mine said, trust, find peace in the unknown, be okay with not knowing what is next, and trust. God, takes a lot. It takes a lot of let it go, of familiarity. But yeah, once it's gone, it's like, okay, now what? Who am I without the fear? It's a wild journey, guys. But let's pull some cards. Let's keep this video decent. I'm going to put on the fan because it's getting hot, guys. It's getting hot. All right. I feel like doing a mini Celtic cross for you, okay? So, connecting with your Aska team and my Aska team, and connecting especially with Archangel Haniel, Archangel of the Moon, since it's the new moon in Gemini. And I hope I got it right, because sometimes I mix up new moon and full moon. No, it is the new moon. We're planting seeds. What is the overall energy of our current situation? Okay, I'm going to focus on you. I'm going to focus on you. Connecting with your Aska team. What is the overall energy of your current situation? Thank you so much. And I'm using the Ley de la Atracción deck, which is interesting. I found the booklets. Remember I said I thought I'd lost or misplaced the booklets of the Divine Feminine of the Moonology deck. And of course, you know what happens when you tidy your house? You can't even remember where you organize things or where you put things. So I randomly stumbled on the booklets. They were in a jar, so no wonder I couldn't find them. Okay. Your overall energy seems to be not very far from mine. It's the Eight of Swords. Can you see this? I want you to look at it carefully. So, Eight of Swords. Feeling cold in the rain, left out in the cold, being drenched. And in this case, I associate this drenching feeling with overwhelm, maybe a tinge of hopelessness, sadness, heaviness. Is that how you're feeling? I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Good thing that everything is temporary, no? We go through these cycles, and really as we transform and change and ascend, it takes a lot out of us to step into this new energy, to release. And it's okay to grieve that part that we are releasing, the story that we are releasing. It's not like this, okay, I'm gonna cut it out and that's it. I really feel there's a grieving process that we go through. That's okay. So if you're feeling out in the cold, if you carry a sense of heaviness, if you feel cold, if you feel overwhelmed, then I send you lots of love. Okay. What is your current challenge? Is this recording? Yes, it is. What is your current challenge? Thank you so much, the Aska team. Thank you for mirroring back the energy. As I said, the cards don't lie, which can be spooky sometimes. All right, so I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. This came out in the reverse, but let's look at him together. There's this monsieur. I like his outfit. It's kind of old school. What do you call that? A cardigan? I like these. I don't know what you call them. Cardigans. He's sitting on a cube. Sorry, I have to look closer. And if you look really close, in his hand, he has a little clock, like one of those old school clocks that you carry in your pocket. and he's looking to the left. He looks like he's waiting on something. In the sunset mood here. So this came out in reverse. Your challenge is to be patient. Just like this monsieur is sitting there. Maybe he's been sitting there all day because it's already sunset. He's still waiting. He's still there. He's not giving up. Whatever he's waiting for, it must be worth it. So, in your case, your challenge is to be patient. And I know, guys, patience, trust me, is like the least of my virtues. Or let's say the virtue that I most work on, because it's not easy. But patience requires humility, no? We can't always force things to happen when we want them to happen, because our piece of the puzzle is part of a bigger puzzle. And all these other puzzle pieces need to click into place first before our piece has its go. So patience. If you've been feeling overwhelmed and you're wondering when your opportunities, when your blessings are arriving, and you're a little bit at the point of despair, have patience. Okay, that is your challenge at the moment. Have patience. Let's work on that together. Okay. What is it that you're not seeing? It's an interesting question. What is it that you're not seeing? What is it that you're not seeing? What is in the unconscious, working in the unconscious, that you're not quite aware of? What is it that you're not seeing? Thank you so much, Jaska team. Thank you. Wow. Never seen this card. I'm quite mesmerized. Look at this. It's like a marble or a crystal ball, and if you look carefully, there's a wave in there. I'm making this up? Yeah. There is an ocean wave in the crystal ball. Looks a bit like my hand, actually. I have like no, what do you call it, nail polish on. It's kind of crazy. So what you're not seeing is that just like you are a drop in the ocean of the all, we're all aspects of the all, that you form part of this larger consciousness. There's destiny at play here. We're all born with a blueprint of our destiny, and then it's up to us to flesh it out by our free will. And the free will, higher choice is made with our intuition, by trusting and not giving into our fears. Because every time we act in courage, new possibilities open up, higher timelines, and our higher self, está aterrizando, is landing, is able to land better because we clear the fear. The fear keeps us in a lower vibration. As we release our fear, we're ascending, and that doesn't mean we're taking off into some other galaxy. No, we're actually opening up, cracking open so that our higher self can be more in our body. Yeah. So know that there is destiny at play here, and you have to trust, you have to be patient. That regardless of how you're feeling right now, the challenge of being patient, of having to release so many fears and limiting beliefs and old attachments and identities, trust that in the larger scheme of things, everything is falling in place. This looks a little bit like the hand of the Almighty, perhaps. He, she, maybe no gender. But the universe has the oversight, has the crystal ball. And we're not being revealed the entire path in one go. The journey reveals itself step by step. So we're asked to step onto the path, to become the path. And as we become the path, the veil, the curtains lift a little bit and we see the next scene. We step into the next scene of our story. Because remember, we are the authors of our own story. And if you look at so many of these epic sagas and hero stories, isn't every hero required to have faith and to step into the unknown? Isn't that what the adventure is all about? To trust, to be the adventurer. So trust that even though you can't see the entire journey ahead, even though you're required and asked to be patient and to surrender into the unknown, that something larger is holding your destiny in its hand. And that by acting in faith and being that play ball, that ball that the universe plays with, the universe wouldn't have created you for nothing. Perhaps you're also fretting about your purpose, just like I have been over the past few days. I really had like a mini breakdown. I was like, what do you want me to do next? My mind is screaming at me to do this. I feel disjointed. What do you want me to do? I want clarity. But precisely the universe was telling me, be okay with uncertainty. Can you be in this liminal space and follow the flow? I mean, if you think about it, sometimes when we're in the ocean or if we're coursing down a river, we can't always see around the next bend. However, let's trust that the river is taking us in the right direction. Bigger picture, faith, trust, surrender. Remember, surrender is not a weakness. Surrender requires courage. The courage to go beyond the stories of our mind and to really feel and embody trust. What does trust imply? What am I asked to do? What are you asked to do? What is the calling? What are you invited to say yes to? That is beyond your old self-concept, beyond the stories that you've been telling yourself. Can you trust that something larger is at play here? And something larger that is a benevolent being, that wants your best and is rooting for you. Okay, that is what you're not seeing. Ooh, I like this. Vale, aquí estamos. Okay, 20 minutes. What have you just come out of? No, sorry, let's ask this. What are you invited to release? Thank you so much, the Aska team. What are you invited or asked to release? Thank you so much. Remember, our answers or your answer can only be as good as the question asked. So I try to phrase the question in such a way that it elicits the potential for juicy answers. So, what are you invited to release? Well, it's too many cards. You focus. I feel just before we step onto this new chapter with the Fool. Remember, we pulled a lot of Fool cards in the last episodes. It takes releasing, because how can we step into the new if we're still holding on to the past? So no wonder our old attachments are circling back to see if we, quote unquote, give in to them, if we limit ourselves, if we choose the past, or if we say yes to the calling of our soul's purpose into the unknown. What are you asked to release? One more. Okay. This came out in reverse. I'll show you upright first. There's this guy working on, I have to look. It literally looks like he's designing an apple on the screen. He's being very studious, very diligent. And this came out in the reverse. So you're being asked to release you're being asked to step out of your routine. That's what this is talking about to me. Okay, I'm going to put him upright so you can see, but remember he's in the reverse. So, that is what stepping into the unknown implies. Because our routines are, of course, they ground us. I'm not saying like ditch all of your routines, but sometimes, especially in these transitional times, we're invited to step out of our comfort zone. And our comfort zone is often caught up in our routines, embodied in our routines. So you've been releasing perhaps your too rigid regimes, or I can't say it, routines, to step out of the box. Like this is like kind of an office cubicle, no? To step out of the proverbial box of your known world. You've been asked to step into the unknown. Makes sense, guys, doesn't it? Let me know if this resonates. What are you asked to embody next? What energy are you being asked to embody next? Thank you so much, dear Aska team. Hey, your Aska team is being pretty... Oops. Okay, I'll take the top card. Okay, I'll take 2 cards. Make an exception. Yeah, okay. What was my question? My question was, what are you being asked to embody, Mbale? You're being asked to embody... Look at this lady. She is on a chessboard. She holds a letter in her hand. It's kind of a mysterious image. I like it for the fact that it's mysterious and surreal. You're being asked to embody... I mean, she's definitely feminine. Your divine feminine. See, the chessboard is black and white, animus anima. And she wrote a letter. She has something to communicate to you. Have you been connecting with your inner divine feminine? This is, regardless of your gender, we all have divine feminine energy. It's the receptive energy. It's the mysterious energy. It's the creative energy. It's the nurturing energy. Have you been listening to her? Because she wrote you a letter. You're being asked to connect with and to embody more of your divine feminine energy. How does that look like for you? We all have it. She nurtures us. In her exalted version, the divine feminine energy, the exalted version of the feminine energy is nurturing. She gives birth. She's creative. She's insightful. She's inspirational. She's a muse. And she's been writing a letter to you. Question is, have you received her communication? Go inside. Sit with her. Connect with her. And the other card was, I need to look at this. Okay, it's like a Chinese Lucky Charm biscuit, where you crack them open in a Chinese restaurant. They have these little mantras on there, or little messages. I love them, actually. So this came out in the reverse. You're being asked to embody more of your... It's a kind of energy that expects the best. Because, in these biscuits, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is it? What is written on there? We're being reflected back what we project into the world. The vibration we enter situations into. The frequency we embody. So this talks to me about luck. Knowing that, believing, it's an invitation for you to believe that you are lucky if you choose to believe so. That a blessing is just around the corner if you choose to believe so, if you choose to expect it. remember, first we embody the joy, the love, the abundance, and then we attract it because like attracts like. It's the law of attraction of the universe. We can't be in a negative state and expect something good. I mean, it does happen, but usually we attract what we emit. So how about expecting the best? How about embodying an energy that is optimistic, especially in this time of transition that you're going through, especially in this time where your fears are coming up and grasping at you and trying to pull you back into the familiar story. It takes persistence and practice and courage to, a pesar del miedo, regardless of the fear or despite of the fear, choose to be optimistic about the future. Can you do that? Ask yourself. Okay. Let me know if this resonates. And since it's the new moon in Gemini, let's check what the Moonology deck has in store for you. So, dear Haniel, connecting with you. What message do you have for you? Watching on the other end. Where are you situated? ¿Qué país? What country? Was für ein Land? Let me know. I know we've got a crew in the US, in the Philippines. ¿Qué más? Germany? I don't know. Let me know where you're sitting and watching from. So what does Haniel have to say to you? Wow. 2 cards came out. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon and eclipse. Doesn't this talk about, look at the colors are even similar, being optimistic about the future? Because Haniel is telling you conclusions are within reach. Maybe you've been waiting. That's why you've been asked to be patient, waiting on some kind of conclusion, on clarity to come in. Haniel is telling you conclusions are just around the corner. So let's expect the best. Let's tell the universe, hey, I'm not giving in to my fears. I am standing in my worthiness. I'm claiming my birthright of worthiness. I expect the blessing to arrive. I feel it's arriving. I believe it's arriving. And the other card, wow, it's a lot about resolution here. A personal issue reaches resolution. So we have conclusions are within reach and a personal issue reaches resolution. Again, trust. I'm telling you, just like I'm telling me, let's trust. And instead of contracting into fear, even though it feels so familiar, let's expand and surrender into trusting and believing that all is well and that the blessings and opportunities that we've been praying and waiting for and manifesting are already arriving. However, we need to be in the right frequency. Imagine this is the frequency of your blessing. If we're down here, we don't match up. So we got to raise our frequency to literally be on the same attracting level. Like attracts like. Okay? So let's ease into this new moon in Gemini and plant our seeds of optimism. To be honest, to be an optimist these days is a radical act because so many out there are giving into fear, and even that's not something to judge, but the only thing is that matters is what you're choosing, because that is the only power you have. You can't control other people. You can control and choose for yourself though. So do you choose to be optimistic despite maybe the temporary lack of proof and the uncertainty and the transition and the liminal space you're in? Do you, regardless, do you choose to have faith? Do you choose to believe? Do you choose to be optimistic and expect the best? If you do, know that conclusions and resolution are around the corner. Yeah? So that's my little new moon in Gemini reading for you. I'm going to paste the video together because I had a technical glitch. I'm with you guys. Honestly, I'm with you. Again, let me know how you feel when you choose to surrender. How does that feel in your body? Do you feel the difference between fear and trust and surrender? Let me know in the comments box because I'd love to know how it is for you. Okay, so that's all for today. Plant your seeds of intentions for the new moon in Gemini. It's a powerful one. They're getting more and more powerful, these lunatic cycles, these lunar cycles. To be honest, I've been a bit, depleted and not even up to manifesting. I'm just like writing it out and being gentle with myself and allowing myself to rest. Listening to my body is telling me to. Oh, and I actually want to read a little story. One second, stay here, because it's a beautiful interaction I had with myself. Because remember, I told you that I interact with different aspects of myself, and that's a beautiful story. I hope I find the notebook though. One second. Oh yes, I found it. Oh gosh. All right, I'll tell you a little story. Well, a dialogue I had with an aspect of myself. So here's me talking to my higher self. This is me. I just feel like resting. This is my higher self. And that's okay. You're not patient in waiting. I know, I feel like I need to do something. No, you don't. You just think you need to do something. Be gentle with yourself. What is your body telling you? My body wants to rest. Then do it without guilt. It's difficult. In my case, it's such an old programming to keep on doing and override the sensations of my body, the needs of my body, until I reach some kind of exhaustion point, which is quite familiar. And I can't allow myself to go there anymore. However, it's still a struggle to let go, to allow myself to rest, as crazy as it sounds. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of June. I'm cutting out all unnecessary responsibilities and just focus on resting. Let me know if you're in a similar state. Let's grant ourselves permission. As we rest, we signal to the universe that we're worthy of it and that our body is worth tending to, worth listening to, worth honoring. Because as we rest, we also raise our frequency, and only good stuff can come from there. No? Allora, I'll leave you with that, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. You know, Magic Mel does private readings. I share my description, my details in the description box below, and know that I'm a coach. Also, everything is in the description box. I'm super appreciative of you guys. Liking, sharing, and subscribing with friends if it resonates, if my message resonates with me, with you. And know that Alna, I've got your back. We're rolling on this journey together. So stay tuned, set your intentions, have a conversation with yourself, and let's ease into this new moon and Gemini energy. Let's ride the wave. Ciao, Bandidos.